Chart and graph skills. Use parallel timelines. What? Timelines help you understand when something happened. Timelines help you put events in sequence, the correct chronological order. They are a way to help you visualize the order in which events occurred. The timeline below shows that the last ice age began about 2 million years ago and lasted until about 10,000 years ago. Why? Calendars, dates, and timelines help us keep track of time. We can use them to find out whether an event happened very long ago or not too long ago. The time period between events may be represented in different ways on a timeline. This is because throughout the world, people use different calendars. The calendar used in most parts of the world is based on the birth of Jesus Christ. This kind of calendar lists the events that happened before Christ was born as BC, or before Christ. It lists other events as AD. The letters AD stand for the Latin words Anno Domini, which mean in the year of our Lord. Some timelines are labeled BCE, which stands for Before the Common Era. These timelines also use CE for In the Common Era. Other timelines, particularly timelines that record events in prehistory, are labeled YA for years ago. The terms BCE and BC, as well as AD and CE, refer to the same years. Some events took place at a general rather than a specific time. We use the Latin term circa, or C, which means about, for approximate or almost exact dates. The last ice age ended circa 10,000 years ago. How? Parallel timelines are useful for showing how events are related in time. The following steps will help you read timelines. Identify the length of time represented by the entire timeline. Determine the length of time between each section and tick mark of the timeline. Notice how events are marked in the timeline. A yellow dot generally indicates a single point in time. The green lines show that an event lasted for a long period of time. Each labeled year has a blue tick mark. The white tick marks help show smaller time periods between the blue tick marks. The two timelines represent time from 3 million years ago to the present. Use the timeline to find out when the Old Stone Age ended. Follow the Old Stone Age line to the right. You can see that it ends at 10,000. This means the Old Stone Age lasted until about 10,000 years ago. Study the other timeline. Notice at the right of the timeline that the beginning of written history occurred about 5,000 years ago. Look at the top and bottom timelines. Compare the years of the Old Stone Age with the beginning of written history. You can see that written history began after the Old Stone Age ended.